Hey there, Ole'Pops here. Seems like there was a little more response to them stamps than I thought there would be, and there's a, I don't know if you can see what that one is. That's the four little piggies. There was somebody out there that decided that they wanted that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show y'all what I do here to mount them if I can get everything situated here. I'm gonna try to sit my camera here. I take the stamp and quit now, Luca. And I just take and cut lines in the back of it, like this right here. And it don't seem. I told somebody I'd send this stamp to them. Somebody made a comment on. First off, I think I got a little bit of trouble for the comments that was made on YouTube about it was sort of a touchy situation. Of course, it wasn't nothing illegal or wrong that went down, and if there was, Gracie is old enough now to where she can confront the person and tell them that there was nothing.
Yeah, you can shut the fuck up.
Do what?
You can shut the fuck up.
Well, you know, but
It weren't like that.
yeah, it wasn't.
And if they'd have asked anybody, that we'd have told them it weren't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. But there was just some professional jealousy going on at the time, and it just wasn't worth pursuing.
It's the worst kind of people.
It is you're right. It is the worst kind of people. But at the time, we were just trying to find something to do with our time. And anyway, I don't want to rehash it and get into trouble with YouTube again. But they deleted our channel for a second, and then came back with some instructions about about content, about content being questionable. But anyway, we're going to get into something else. Somebody made the point that they had somebody in mind that you can probably look on there on the comments and find out who it is if you want, if you're willing to dig through the comments on that video. There's somebody that showed interest in this pig stamp that you saw on the paper, and it was a kid, and Ole'Pops just a sucker for kids. And that's all it was then, that's all it is now. I'm just a sucker for kids. I was a Sunday school teacher then. I was a Girl Scout leader. You know, I've always been, I'm a dad, I'm a granddad. I'm just a sucker for kids then, and I'm a sucker for kids now. I love them, and I always will. And I never do anything to harm them. And I do anything I can to please them, any of them and all of them. But there's a child on there that's shown interest in this stamp. And somebody made the statement of wanting to buy it for this child. And I think the world of this child, and I think the world of this child's siblings. And she's shown interest in this stamp. And I'm going to send it to her. But see, you cut grooves in the back of it like that right there.
Just like a pineapple.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Gracie says it looks like a pineapple. But you cut grooves in it so that the glue will hold. And then what I generally do is I generally use wood. And what it does is it keeps it from being flimsy. So you have a backing on it to where it'll stamp flat. But what I've found is I found this carbon composite, and I've been working with it lately, and it works, seems to work real well. But I glue craft foam on the back of it, and then I'll take just this old Gorilla Glue, and it works just fine. It works just fine. And I'll fill these grooves up, just pour it all over the back, and then I'll take, do you see my clamps? Am I close to my clamps?
No.
You don't see them?
No.
Well, anyway, there they are on my, anyway. I got these little bar clamps that squeeze, and I'll mount it. Anyway, I'll mount it to that and squeeze them down flat and let them hold for a little bit. And I'll go outside, and I've already measured it off. And I'll cut it out after I get it. But I'll sand the back of this stuff, and before I glue it on, I'll stamp the back of it so that you can see the image right there. And I'm gonna go outside and cut this out in my garage, and I'll sand it down on my grinder, and then I'll sand it down. And anyway, I'm gonna finish it up, and I'm gonna go. It'll take, video it as I go, and I'll show you the steps of it. Y'all bear with me. All right, we're back. Now, we've got this little carbon block, and I've already put my lines on it. Let me pull the stamp out of my pocket. Here's the stamp. You can see where I've already drawn it on there. We're out, by the way, we're out in the garage. I've already marked it off to about the size of that stamp. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this saw, and we're going to
So funny.
and we're going to cut right along that line. My musical instrument.
That's what you're going to use at the end of songs instead of the pating.
Yeah, that's it. And then we're going to cut right along that line. See there? Now, believe it or not, that right there, I can use that tiny little piece. So we're going to save that. All right, be right back. Here, while I was out here, what I'd do is I'd take just some simple 3M sandpaper, and I'd start with an increment of 400, and on this back side, I'd just, and it really doesn't matter which direction, because we're not sanding wood, we're sanding this composite. A 600, 800, 1,000. 1,000 should get it smooth enough. We could go on up to 3,000 because I've got 3,000 for height making. Actually, what we're using is Ranger archival ink. This is black. Comes in 1,000 different colors. Well, maybe not 1,000. But it's really good ink, and it's permanent ink. Matter of fact, that's what it says right there on the front. It says acid-free, permanent, and waterproof. Jet black. I like using the coffee or the brown or the maroon colors like that to stamp my my signature stamp. But for marking personal stamps, for marking the backs of stamps like this, nothing works like jet black. And when you're putting it on wood, also nothing. You really need to sand wood down smooth before you mark them, because this stuff will bleed into the grain of wood.
You can show them my book.
And yeah, that's bamboo. That would.
I sanded it.
Yeah, you sanded that down just smooth as a baby's butt. There we go, mentioning baby's butts again. But anyway, you get it good and inked up. And then when you press it, I'm going to turn it this way because it's got kind of a... No, I'm going to go this way because it's got a funny... But when you press it, you want to go straight down with it and put even pressure all the way across. Now this black box was sent to me by Mark Vericio at Tobacco Pipes International, and it's one of my prized possessions. I don't know if he realizes it or not, but he sent it to me. It was a humidor. It was a humidor. It is not anymore. But I don't smoke cigars. But there is the final result on the back side of our mount. Now, we'll take the actual stamp with the pattern carved into the back and we'll glue it here, like so, to where it's got something hard and flat behind it where you can hold on to it so you can ink it up and use it to stamp. And that way you'll know what the stamp looks like. That's what that's for. You'll know what it looks like after you stamp it. I mean, it's that's a reverse image of it. But after we'll go ahead and glue this down, and then after we get her glued down, we'll take it outside and put it on the grinder. And grind the edges down to where they are as close to the edge as possible without getting into the stamp or into the stamped image on the back. Now, Be right back. Oh, what I was saying about this box, it was given to me by Mark at TPI Pipes as a humidor. And I don't smoke cigars, but I do carve, and I do a lot of artwork. And I don't know if any of you out there know about doing artwork, but nothing serves an artist better than a glass top drawing table. And I've got my pencils, my X-Acto knife, my carving tools, extra ink pads, Scotch tape in here, and a glass top. Now, the best thing about this was it's got the lift top. But if you can see right there, what I've done is I've mounted in the bottom of it an LED two-speed light. I say two-speed, it's bright, less bright, and off. But that thing is handy as a shirt pocket. And it's one of the best tools that I have. I wouldn't take anything for this. If my house caught on fire, I would grab my guitars, I would grab my mandolin, and I would grab this box. And right back here we are. And I'm running low, real low, on my Gorilla Glue. But we're going to see if we can squeeze enough out this bottle to make this work. Yeah, I believe we can. I've got these little slide clamps like this. They look like a little bar clamp, but they're like mini sized. just the stamp. Now it might cut into some of the picture on the back, but that's okay. What we're more concerned about is saving the stamp. So here's what we're going to do. See all that right there is just a dull sound. Now we're getting into the both sides of it. She's ready to be thrown in a package and sent away. And it's on its way to you, Miss Long. On her way to West Virginia. Hold up here. I'm Ole'Pops. Whoop. I'm Ole'Pops. Much love. Y'all be good to each other.